All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back after the Educational Technologies course that we took last semester. We have come together again for a new course. And this course is going to be Research Methods in Education. And I believe, my personal opinion is that both the Educational Technologies course and the Research Methods in Education course are very important because they contribute by teaching you to become autonomous teachers, right? With the Educational Technologies course, you learn how to create your own digital materials, how to conduct online classes, how to apply the websites or the materials that you develop, and so on. And I believe that it was a very fruitful and useful course for you. This one is going to be a little bit different. But still, this course, again, is going to help you a lot. And let me share my screen so we can proceed with the content and the procedure of this course. Research Methods in Education. We had this course in the previous years, in the previous semesters, but the name has changed. The name of this course was Scientific Research Methods. Scientific Research Methods. Now it is Research Methods in Education. Same course, same content. But I have decided to do some things, some of the things, particularly with the procedure, differently this semester, and I'm going to share these with you. Okay, so Research Methods in Education. I guess you can clearly read my slides here. So before we jump into the content, first of all, we need to talk about the rationale of the course. Important. What is the purpose? Should you really take this course? Why is this course included in the English language teacher training program? Why is it in our program? Why is it installed there? Right? Like anything else, you need to question everything. Like questioning is something good. Well, always you need to think, why am I doing this? What is the purpose? What will happen? Why am I eating this? Why am I spending this money to buy this or for this service? Okay, why am I going there or here? Why are my students asking me this question? Why am I developing this material? How can I, use this material? And so on. Questioning is something good. Why? Because you make it clear to yourself. You establish the rationale of your action. And for this course, it is important to understand why we are taking this course, to maintain our motivation throughout the semester. Otherwise, if you don't have a strong purpose, focus, then during the semester, you might lose your concentration or motivation. Okay, so this is first. Now the rationale. If I ask you, why are you taking this course? Well, depending on my experiences, considering the students in the previous semesters, in the previous years, well, there are some reasons, and these are just some of them. The first group of students, they say, pass it. This course in our program, and I have to take it. And just to pass it, I have to pass this course, so I'm taking it just to pass it, or because I have to. Similar purpose, similar reason. On the other side of the coin, there are some students who say, to become a conscious teacher, to start thinking like a researcher, and these are some reasons that are also included in the purpose of this course. Okay, but each of you, I'm sure that there are two groups here again among you. There are students who might say that I've taken it. If I had the chance to take another course, I would take the other course, but I have to take this one. And there will be some people who really want to learn something, who really want to improve themselves, okay, who are in the right place. All of you will be teachers. At least you will receive teaching diplomas, and the majority of you, I believe, will work as teachers. And of course, there will be some people who are not planning to work as teachers. And again, in my opinion, they are wasting their time here in our department, because if the purpose is just to take a diploma, a university diploma, well, there are better or easier departments to take a university diploma. But anyway, I assume that most of us, most of you, are planning to work as teachers, and this course, I hope, will contribute a lot. We need teachers who can detect and solve the problems in the class and be aware of what the rest of the world does. So this is the thing that you need to keep in your mind. Okay, so this course aims to improve these skills and knowledge so that you will become more conscious practitioners, more conscious teachers. I know that you had some experiences with teachers. You are professional students. You've been students for over 15 years maybe, right? So you are going to become teachers, and we need teachers who can detect the problems in their classes and also solve these problems. This is very important for us. And also, we need conscious teachers and teachers who are aware of the rest of the world, what is going on around the world. Well, I believe that most of you would agree with me that teachers have a very important role in education. There are many parties or groups in education, but even if teachers are not the most important group, I believe that they are the second most important group after students. There is nothing more important than students in education. So students come first, in my opinion, and after that, teachers. Teachers are very important. So there are different types of teachers. Of course, all teachers should be friendly, they should smile, they should be ready to help and solve the problems of their students. Okay, so teachers are important, and you need to evolve into good teachers. Of course, all teachers should be friendly, as we said, helpful. But there are two types of teachers, in my opinion, according to my experiences and observations. Well, the first type, some teachers like to concentrate on the subject, on the topic that they teach. They like to strictly follow their curriculum. They like to concentrate on the course book, on the workbook, on the exercises, on their job. On the other side, there are some teachers who would easily, avoid these things that we speak about, the first type, and they will concentrate on their students mostly, or they will prefer to concentrate on the needs or interests or habits of their students, and they can easily say, okay, if you are bored, if you are not interested, close your books, close your notebooks, put everything in your bag. So we are going to do something different now. We can play games and so on. So these type of teachers, they like to concentrate on their students. But again, whichever type you become, this type of teacher or this type of teacher, okay? The important thing is that you need to become effective teachers, teachers who are aware of their students, and teachers who care about their students. At a specific time of your profession, it always happens, by the way, depending on the conditions that you work in, or depending on your environment or your students or whatever, or your personality. Whichever teacher type you evolve into, you can be an idealist teacher, moderate, rationalist practitioner, or whatever, some other kind of teachers. At a specific point during your teaching, you will start to detect, to become more aware of the problems, of the things that are going on in your class. For all teachers, for all novice teachers, teachers who just graduate and start their teaching in the schools, it is really very hard to be aware of everything that is going on in the class. It is same for all of us. Sometimes some students will do something irrelevant in our class, but we won't notice it. Some students might hold their hands, but we won't notice them. Some students will cheat in the class, we won't notice them. We just can't see them for some reason. There will be a kind of code. And then at a specific point of time, this code will be decoded. And everything will be crystal clear for you. You will start noticing everything. Even if you don't look at a specific direction, you will see it. You will hear everything that is spoken in your class. You will see everything in your class. At this specific point, you will have to decide on something. This is a very important point for a teacher. You will see the problems. You will see the good things. You will see the bad things that are going in you. What will you do? Will you just ignore these things? Or will you try to do something for these things? All right? So this is the thing. And this course, I believe, will help you if you decide to be the second type, an effective teacher who cares about his or her students, who want to contribute to their well-being, who want to solve their problems, who want to meet their needs or interests. Then this course will help you. But if you be the first type of teacher who just will say, well, okay, there are some problems, and there are problems everywhere. So what can I do? I don't bother. I won't do anything for this. Some students will learn, some students will not learn, and there are problems everywhere. So it's all right if you become that kind of teacher, a teacher who doesn't care about his or her students very much, but cares about the salary most of all. And you know that we've got these kind of teachers, unfortunately. You know that we've got teachers who teach the same book, the same workbook, the same content, with the same materials, in the same way, using the same strategies and techniques for 20 years, for 30 years. We don't want these type of teachers, actually. But there are teachers like this, unfortunately. And also there are some teachers who forget about the basics of English. In time, their English deteriorates, their English becomes worse. They forget vocabulary, English vocabulary. Then they start, everything becomes worse with them. They don't improve. The problem is that they don't improve themselves. They don't take some seminars, they don't attend conferences, they don't read academic articles, they do nothing to improve themselves professionally. And so they get stuck into a kind of passive environment where they don't do on their own, right? So this course is planning to, actually is aiming to create a kind of awareness that you will try to improve yourselves. So how is this course going to contribute to your awareness? Okay, so this is what we are going to talk about. I will say that this course will contribute in 3 different ways. The first one, you will know how to solve the problems of your students in your class. This course will teach you how to find effective solutions to the problems of your students. We will be dealing with academic articles, which means that we will be reading the reports of academic research, scientific research, meaning a student is a student everywhere. A student is a student in Turkey, a student is a student in Germany, in Canada, in Australia, in Malaysia, Singapore, whatever, in each part of the world. Students, as long as they deal with languages, language learning, or teachers who are dealing with language or similar problems. So if you know where to find solutions to these problems, which is, I will say, the academic articles, right? Or maybe you might want to join some groups that you will see some groups. There are some groups in Facebook, for example, for teachers. So I would strongly recommend you to join some of these groups, because you always need to be in contact. You always need to be in contact and in connection and collaboration with your colleagues, with language teachers. They don't have to be necessarily English teachers, teachers of English language, but also other languages. So you need to interact with other language teachers, not only in your class, in your school, excuse me. You have to be in close contact with the language teachers in your school, but also in your country, right? So right now you are here, and when you graduate, each of you will be appointed to different schools in our country. So I suggest, I advise you to keep in contact and always to talk to one another about the problems, about the materials, about the websites that you are going to use and apply, and how you solve the problems. This is something good, but also, in order to become internationally effective language teachers, you need to establish some connections with teachers abroad. That's why these groups for teachers are important. So you talk to the teachers in Turkey or in your country, but also you need to talk to teachers in other countries. Okay? So this is one thing. The second thing, you will have to go to find some more formal, maybe formal solutions, which are academic articles that are published online. So you need to go to Google Scholar, then download, search. Let's say that you teach vocabulary, and then there is problem in your class. You notice that your students can easily learn these concrete words like bag, pencil, apple, whatever, okay? But there is difficulty in learning the vocabulary related to emotions like curious, angry, happy, upset, something like that. Okay, maybe they mix the meaning of this somehow. So you want to find a solution. First, you talk to your colleagues, and then you go and find some academic articles, scientific articles, to see how other people around the world solve this problem. If you want to be really an effective teacher, a teacher who wants to make difference in the lives of his or her students, who wants to solve the problems, and then you will find a lot of articles. You can attend conferences, it would be great. But with these articles, You know, you will not only find solutions for these problems in your classes, because some people around the world might have used some visuals to solve this problem. Like while teaching happy, they show them a happy visual. While teaching upset, they show them a kind of upset visual. So they use visuals, maybe. Or maybe some teachers used songs. Some teachers used role play, asking students to come to the board and then asking them to use their mimics and gestures, like sad or angry or curious, whatever, and then the rest of the class try to guess, and then they practice the words this way, they learn the words this way, or something else. So you will check how people around. This is just one example. It could be passive voice, or it could be if clause type 2, or it could be models, it could be phrasal verbs, or whatever. Dealing with language teaching, we will have lots of problems. Both we as teachers might have some problems, and our students will have some problems. And when we become aware of these problems, we need to go and find solutions to these problems. We need to solve these problems to satisfy ourselves and also our students, right? And while reading these articles, we will improve our English. We will learn new words because these are academic texts. We will learn new words. We will improve our writing skills, maybe, because maybe we will try to report some of these results of other researchers, and so on. So we will be aware of the innovations, of the good practices in the world. We will have an idea about what is going on around the world, right? So this course will teach you how to become conscious practitioners, how to find solutions to the problems in your classes, and also when skills, which is good for you. Okay, so it's going to be really a very exciting course, in my opinion. Now, what you will need to do in the previous semesters, I expected students to conduct research and then to write a short report, a research article or a review article. But this semester, we will do it in a different way. Again, we will concentrate on educational research principles, methods, and practices. We will learn to think as a researcher. Thinking as a researcher is a very important thing in the way of becoming conscious and effective practitioners. But you have already known me, and you know that I don't like exams. I like tasks instead. But this semester, we won't have tasks. At least we won't have weekly tasks. No weekly tasks. We will have midterm exam and we will have final exam. And there are some reasons for this. Some students, they don't like weekly tasks. Weekly tasks are hard for some people. So there are some complaints about this, although I believe that the best way of learning is learning by doing and concentrating on the process. And then, formative evaluation and all these things that we have done in the educational technologies course. But still, you will receive all theoretical information. And then we will have a few tasks, just a few tasks, more clear. Okay, so no tasks this semester. Again, everything will be theoretical. And I don't even need to mention about the 40-60% distribution. So you will have to, as we don't have tasks, you will have to attend the classes, these live sessions every week, and then you will have to take notes. And then during these live sessions, I might ask you some questions. So you might need to not save these questions to become successful in the exams, in the what you need to do. So basically, we will have 2 hours theoretical classes, live sessions here. Attendance is not important as usual, but you need to take the responsibility of your own education. And if you join the classes, you will learn something. It will be useful for you, at least eventually in the exams. Midterm final exam, we will have 2 to 4 tasks in total. And this is going to be our curriculum. We will concentrate on these academic and scientific articles. We will read and analyze academic articles. We will know these academic articles are, all right? And there is some specific information that we need to find in these academic articles. These academic articles, research article or review article, they always follow the same sequence, the same structure. So we've got specific sections, and in each section, in each of these sections, we need to include specific information. There are some parts that we need to include in these sections, and we will talk about these. We will analyze them, and we will be dealing with academic articles during this semester. In face-to-face classes, I recommended students to come together like this, to form a classroom research circle, so to talk to one another about the research topics, about the problems, how these problems could be solved in the classroom or out of the classroom, where they can find solution, etc. Right now, because of the pandemic, because of the distance education, I understand that you can't come together like this, but still, you've got some software like Zoom or like other, like WhatsApp groups, etc. So you can always come together, not physically, but you can come together like this, like us right now, and you can talk to your friends. You can create groups, so it will be helpful for you. And going back to types of teachers, we need to understand that there are boring teachers, there are strict teachers, there are bad or lazy teachers, fun teachers, teachers that have that create a lot of fun in their classes. But as I say, the most important thing for a teacher is to become an effective teacher, to evolve into an effective teacher who will make some difference in the lives of their students. So fun teachers are not always the most effective teachers. And boring teachers or strict teachers actually can be very effective. But the good thing is a mixture of both of these would be the best thing. Creating enjoyable environment, enjoyable lessons, fun for your students in your classes, but also applying everything very effectively, detecting their problems, and so on. So questioning is very important. You need to always ask yourselves, okay, after your classes, after each topic, you need to question, did my students learn the topic? Will they retain this information? Okay, and then you need to say, well, why did my students ask me these questions in the class? Well, maybe there were some reasons. Maybe something was not very clear. How can I solve this? What can I do to improve my classes? Is there anything that I can do to make my classes more enjoyable, more effective? Can I use some better materials? Should I stick strictly to my course book, to my workbook, or can I use some websites or other supporting materials or documents, etc.? Okay, so questioning is the first thing. Questioning, learning to question, thinking like a researcher necessitates you to question everything. So questioning, and then when you start questioning, of course, you will feel the need to solve the problems, problem solving. So when you become a questioning and problem solving teacher, I believe you will become effective teachers who will make some difference in the lives of your students. And this is the problem-solving loop, which is the model for academic articles. This is how we solve problems. This is how we take the steps of academic research. First, of course, we need to identify the problems in our classes, which are real problems. So when you identify these problems, when you become aware of the problems in your classes, if you find some information, some ideas, some solutions to these problems, and where will you find this? Well, as we said, you can talk to your colleagues in Turkey and abroad. Then you can check some academic articles, read them, and then you will come with some ideas. You will select the best ideas, the best solutions, because, for example, a teacher in Japan might have solved a problem that you have met in your own class in a way, but it won't suit your way. It won't suit your conditions. It won't suit your students or whatever. Okay, and then you will have to find some other ideas. Maybe a teacher in Canada, or a teacher in Singapore, or a teacher in China or Germany or USA, whatever in the world. Maybe there are better ideas. So you will collect these ideas that you can apply in your own classroom settings, in your own conditions, and you will check whether you can apply these exactly in the same way that these teachers around the world or your colleagues, your classmates right now in Turkey have used. Can you use them exactly like they used them? You will check, you will find some sources to see how you can modify them, and then you will apply them in your class, in your classroom setting, and then you will evaluate your results, and then you will see if your application was effective or not. And this is all about scientific research, problem solving, and then if you improve your writing skills here, then you can report this by writing an academic article, a review article or a research article. And actually, this is how science improves. People around the world, professors, practitioners, researchers, they conduct research, and then they evaluate the results, and then they publish these reports online, which means that if you publish your research online, you become a part of the history. How is this possible? Well, 50 years later, 200 years later, maybe we won't exist here on Earth, but our name will exist on Google, right? People will read our article on Google. And in the previous years, I had some students here who wrote wonderful articles, and then they shared these articles online. They published these articles in their web blogs or in academic journals. And right now their names are on Google, and they have already become a part of the history, because the Google will exist forever, or these search engines will exist forever. We've got electronic database here. So you understand what we are going to do within the scope of this course. You understand what you are expected to do. You understand what we are going to do. So do you have any questions? Is everything clear? As I say, in the previous years, I helped the students to write these academic articles or review articles. We did everything, we learned everything by doing, but this semester, because of the concerns of the administration, we are into the accreditation processes or these kind of things, etc. So, and some of the complaints of the students because of the weekly tasks. So we are going to do things theoretically, but for those students who are planning to go on their career after graduating, I mean, master's level, doctoral level, if you want to pursue MA or PhD degree, Maybe you want to get into the depth, right? Straight into the content by doing something, because it will help you a lot. If you are planning to become an academician, you definitely want to that is essential in this course. So for this type of students, I can create a parallel cosmos or environment or a program where we will, have some tasks, where will we learn by doing and so on. But it's not easy, of course. Do you understand? If you really want to go on with the tasks or learn by doing, creating something, writing an article, researching, etc., not just theoretically, but also practically, we can create a parallel universe, a parallel program, as I said, for these students, and then we can do something else there with these students. This is something that I can do. But this semester, we are going rather theoretically, and you will have midterm exam and final exam. Is everything clear? Any questions? Is there anything you would like to ask or say? All right.
Yes, I would like to be a part of this parallel cosmos of yours because I'm planning to do masters, and that's why I chose that course actually. So if you have this kind of course, I would be a part of it.
Yeah, okay, it will be in parallel with this course, but the group of students will be different. So for these students in other sections as well, there are 3 students at the moment there in this group. You need to email me and I will put you in this group, and then we will see what we can do there. I believe that this group will be, the task, the things that we do with this group will be harder. You will have to do extra work there, but it will be more efficient. It will contribute more to your skills and knowledge and everything. But if you still want to join this group, please email me and then we will check, we will see what we can do.
Okay, there's this thing I have emailed you before, but I couldn't get a reply. Maybe I mistyped the email address or something. I'm gonna check it again, but I will email it to you.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Anything that you would like to ask or say? Is everything clear? As I said, we will have to read a lot of academic articles. At least in the previous semester, we read a lot of, in the previous years, we read a lot of academic articles, but this semester, for each of you, you will have to concentrate on one specific article and then analyze this article in depth. And then you won't have to write an academic article by the end of the semester. In the previous years, students had to write. Now you won't have to write, except those students who prefer to be in the parallel group, right? But still, you will have to join these live sessions to get the theoretical information. You will have to note the theoretical information in the classes. You will have to take your notes and also record the questions that I'm asking here, because I'm most probably going to ask the same questions in the exam. All right. So if everything is clear, if there is no question, we will just read article, right? Yeah, we will read articles, we will analyze articles, we will go through the sections of these articles, we'll check how this information is presented in the articles, what information is presented in each of these sections of the articles, because academic articles have some specific sections. These sections follow some specific order, and in each section, these are scientific academic texts. They are not just articles like in these newspapers. Okay, so we'll learn about this. We'll learn what people are doing. As I said, as I gave you the example of vocabulary teaching, for example, a teacher in the class might have noticed that she or he has problems with learners learning students learning vocabulary about emotions vocabulary. So first, you give them a kind of questionnaire or a short quiz, for example, and then let's say that you've got 4 classes. With 2 of the classes, you go traditional way. You use your course book, workbook, and traditional exercises, etc. with 2 of the classes. With the other 2 classes, you apply new things. You experiment new things. Like, as I said, when you get an idea from a teacher in Germany or from a teacher in Argentina or in other parts of the world, or from colleagues, from your students in other parts of Turkey, maybe they use flashcards, maybe they use songs, maybe they use games to teach this. So you apply this with the other 2 classes. With the 2 classes, traditional way. With the other 2 classes, you try something new. Okay, applying songs, applying games, applying role play while teaching vocabulary. And in the end of this treatment, this application, you give them another quiz, for example, and then you check which group learned more. And in the end of the semester, maybe you give them another quiz to check which group retained, not learned, but retained more vocabulary of emotions. Do you understand? So maybe after this experiment, both groups, both in the traditional group and in the experiment group, maybe they learn equal number of words, but by the end of the semester, how many of these words are remembered by your students? Retention. So if you say those students who learned emotion words by the help of songs, by the help of role play, etc., they remember more words compared to these students in the control group, well, this is the scientific research. Then you report this, you publish it, and people around the world read it. Right? So this is how we try new things in our classes, and then we report them. We report whether they are effective or ineffective, and then we share this with other teachers around the world. Thinking as a researcher, solving scientific path, and then sharing with our colleagues around the world, which is great. And it's not only about, this is how science improves. It is an incremental process. This is not only about education, it's also about, it is the same in the field of medicine, engineering, architecture, or other fields. You know, for example, a patient, a new person comes to our university hospital here, and the doctor says, okay, I got a patient, he had these kind of complaints, and then I tried this experiment, I gave him this medicine and then this treatment, but then something happened, so I solved it this way, and then you publish this. Another doctor, medical doctor in Brazil or in China reads this article, then, as we said, a student is a student in all countries. A patient is a patient in all countries. Illnesses, same in everywhere. So this doctor, medical doctor in China, he reads this article, he says, okay, I've got the same patient, so let's do the same thing. Let's try the same procedure, same medicine, and see if it works. Then he says, okay, I tried the same things, but then we had some complications. So in order to solve these complications, we had different medicine. And then other people around the world visit, and this is how step by step science improves. People all over the world contribute to the improvement of science. And it's all about the course that we are going to take this semester. These academic articles and everything that is done to write and publish these academic articles is all about within the content of this course. All right? Any other questions? Is everything clear? All right. So thank you very much for joining me today. Hope to see you next week with the next live session. Be ready to take your notes. And bye for now. Have a good day. Thank you.